long as I can tell, I'm the last one alive.
I was a mild-mannered chemist. I formulated your toothpaste. Then they came, and everything changed for all of us. First, we sent out our bravest, most confident, most handsome diplomat to meet with them. It didn't go well. They call Earth Region 72. They want to capture us, enslave us, and take our planet. If we have anything to say about it, our region will remain free.
They're the best. They're the best.
Come on, man!
They released Monster O.
They're here already! You're next! You're next! You're next!
Hello, and we are live with the first episode of Region Free in 2022. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Hope everybody's having an awesome new year so far. Let's go ahead and just dive right into tonight's show. No wasted motion, and just go. Joining me tonight, newly jumped into the Crips, proud member of the Crip organization, Jay the Stingray. What's up, Jay?
What's up, player?
How's the gang life working out for you?
It's not too bad so far.
Not too bad.
I'm still early on, and moving up in the ranks. So.
Okay, cool. Moving a lot of weight, I'm sure.
We don't talk about it.
We don't talk about that. No. Okay.
Well, how are you, man? You have a good holiday?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good holiday. What about you?
Good. Can't complain too much. 2022. Here it is.
I know. Jeez.
Kind of blew by. We're so stagnant in 2020, and it seems like 2021 just kind of blew by.
It's true. Yeah, it really does. Yeah. Does not feel like it should be. So it feels like it should be like, I don't know, Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah.
Last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole holiday season just blew by me, man. It
I know.
came and went in a hurry.
I think I just want some turkey. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, nice.
Maybe I just want some turkey. I don't know. Maybe I'll make me a sandwich here in a little bit. I don't know. Anyway, good to see you, Jay.
Yeah, man.
Also joining me tonight from the Born to Be Rad YouTube channel, making his second live appearance on the show. Garrett, what's up, man?
What is up, guys? How are you? Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah, well, how's it going?
It's going, man. I just heard you guys kind of chatting away, and yeah, man, like the last 2 years have just kind of scrolled by so fast, and I feel like we're in another year again, and nothing has really changed. So hopefully the best for 2022 going forward. And how is everybody doing tonight in the chat?
Yeah, I just, I don't know. I gave up New Year's resolutions many years ago.
I hear you. Me too.
Yeah, but it's good to see you, Garrett. It's good to have you here live. Are we have you got a live Rad Report in the chamber for us tonight?
Yeah, man, I can get a live Rad Report going later tonight for sure.
Sweet. All right, we'll get that going here. All right, awesome. Also joining me tonight, Sam. Oh my God, Sam.
Whoa.
Is this Sam, or is this some sort of Hollywood starlet?
You know, I'm not big time Bex, but I am small time Sam's.
Oh, I like that reference, Sam.
I knew you'd get it.
All right.
Yeah, you know, it's just, you know, now that Jay's a member of the Crips, I just wanted to make sure that he doesn't start pouring in on my my pimp game, because, you know, last person did that, Betty White, she had to go, man.
Oh my
R.I.P.
goodness. Wow.
Too soon.
I know. It's been almost a week. It's fine.
But I like the fur.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is warm as hell.
Oh, come on. It was very
It is
John
cool.
John
Yeah.
Morrison-esque.
Yeah. Except I don't have like 13 abs, and I don't have one ab that can like slow down time for his end. That's my only regret.
Just
I
buy
would
the
take
abs.
the abs.
Yeah, just buy the abs. Get them surgically installed.
Just
There you go.
airbrushed on. Airbrush abs.
Even better.
Yeah.
Even better. But how are you, Sam?
I'm exhausted. We just got back from seeing Hamilton, and that is a very long play, and I do like live musical theater. We were there because my sister-in-law and brother-in-law had something come up, so, you know, just kind of like don't want to let the tickets go to waste. And, you know, it's amazing, although it's just sort of like is Hamilton the protagonist? Because it's kind of like making Hamilton the protagonist of something like that is just sort of like making Miles Dyson the protagonist of a musical. It's just sort of like since Hamilton's essentially the predecessor to the Federal Reserve.
So I'm not familiar with this.
Miles Dyson is essentially the predecessor to Skynet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's just random thoughts.
Mm.
But, you know, everybody, you know, I mean, the choreography, composing is really fantastic. And the guy that played George Washington was fucking awesome. Fun time,
Nice.
though. Really tired.
Well, I'm glad you're here with us anyway.
Well, thank you for having me, as always.
Yeah, right on. All right. Also joining me tonight from I didn't mention Sam is from the Sheebie Jeebies YouTube channel, as well as this fella's YouTube channel. Lauren, how's it going?
I'm okay. We're awaiting the snow, which should be beginning momentarily. So hopefully that the electricity holds out, because I don't have a great track record of that. But in the meantime, I'm keeping myself entertained with some Wild Bill's orange cream soda and some ass-kicking jelly beans. These are habanero jelly beans.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really that hot, but that's exciting. I'm also very excited that Jay is back on the air with us, because it's been too goddamn long.
Mhm.
And I lose sleep when I don't see Jay on a regular basis.
I know, especially now that he's a Crip. I'm very concerned for him.
But I'll tell you what I do want to see. I want to see Jay wearing Sam's coat.
Oh.
That would be pretty amazing.
I
Yeah.
could drape it over me.
I want the heart sunglasses too.
Ah.
Yep. Actually, I've actually got some Bean Boozled Fiery 5 challenge. I thought about maybe doing this, like doing a video maybe with Jeremy trying these, but then I was like,
got it.
maybe they're too hot, because I don't know. It says warning extremely hot, so I don't know. Like if we try one and it's too hot, Jeremy's going to and spit it out, and then he's not going to want any more.
Is there are there Scoville units on that?
That's a good question. Actually, one flavor is Carolina Reaper. You've got habanero, jalapeno, sriracha, and cayenne. So let me see. There's kind of a little chart on the back here. According to this, the Carolina Reaper is the hottest of the hot. I don't know if you guys
That makes sense.
make that out.
I wonder if they're all using the same ingredients, though. Is it
That I
just
don't know.
flavors? What do you think, Jay? What do you think?
I bet they're not too bad. I mean, it would say all over there that it had the Trinidad Scorpion and Carolina Reapers.
As Jay and I know, that's not a sane thing to do. These actually do have habanero flakes in them, but habanero is just habanero. It's 500,000 units. No big deal.
It's the good stuff.
And I've had some of those Bean Boozled that they were nasty.
Oh yeah, the those are horrible. Trying to remember the different flavors.
Accurate. Like vomit was one.
Yeah, like
dog
what
crap.
rotten egg was one of them, wasn't there?
No chance that I would ever do that.
It was horrendous. Or you'd get the ones where like you couldn't tell what they were until you bit into them. And then it was just like,
it's either like a dog turd or like cherry.
Exactly. Yeah.
They look the same. That's the whole part of the game.
Do like the cordial cherry dog turd. Dog turd on the outside, cherry on the inside.
Yeah. I don't know.
Not for me.
They can't be. Well, I don't know what was worse, those Bean Boozled or like the turkey and dressing and apple pie candy corn, because those were god awful.
Oh man, Chris and I listened to that in the car one day, and this was he'd already listened to it, but we listened to it again because I hadn't. It destroyed me. It was so funny. I'm so sorry you had to go through that, but it was really funny.
What's funny though is like there's a couple of flavors that were actually like surprisingly good. Like you wouldn't think cranberry sauce candy would taste good, but it kind of did. And then like there was the apple pie one that tasted pretty good, but then like like the roast beef or whatever, and
Jay, did you eat that chip? Were you part of that crew?
Yeah, the Pocky or whatever this was called.
How was that one?
It was not as bad as I was expecting. I just waited until Christian went out, and when he went out, I drank milk.
Hold that thought. Let me introduce Dan. Dan's tearing up. We've left him in the green room for too long. Dan, come on in from the Fortune Features YouTube channel. We didn't forget about you. How's it going? Dan was a part of the
that's right. He was the chip challenge. Yeah.
Dan went an hour almost
55 minutes, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive. I tuned in right around the time Christian. I noticed Christian was going, and he kept like his hands kept getting closer to his face, and I was going,
don't do that.
Dude. Then
he got it in his eyes.
Right, and then he just started rubbing his face and his eyes. I was like, oh my God. And then he just bellowed the F word. Like it was this horrible shriek. And he got up and went away. And I was like, that man is in pain.
Yeah. Then he never really came back. And that's why what the hell is going on, Yeah.
Didn't know
we were worried about him.
Yeah. That ruined him for like 24 hours, I believe.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Goodness gracious. But Dan, how are you doing, man?
Doing well. 2022's off to a weird start. Jay gigged me with the dirty fork, and now I take it out on referees. So, but other than that, it's all good.
I have no idea what that means.
Just roll with it.
Just roll with it. I do want to congratulate you, Dan, and the Flesh Wound Features guy on the new sponsor for your show. You want to go ahead and let everybody know what the sponsor of the Flesh Wound Features is?
Fleshlight is the official sponsor of Flesh Wound Features.
That's amazing.
That's perfect, man. Hell yeah.
Flesh Wound Fleshlight coming soon.
Wow. Jeez.
Whose mouth is it going to be, though?
What?
Whose mouth is it going to be from the Flesh Wound crew?
We're going to fly out to LA and get the cast done.
I'm not okay with this.
Can you guys put a little beard on there for Todd and Dan?
Just for a little tickle.
It's kind of
that is Lauren is going to get 4 of those for Christmas.
You could have all custom ones, and you could sell them out. See who sells the most.
Happen.
Yeah,
it's going to happen.
Lauren can rotate them out quarterly and tell us which one was the best for 2022.
Or if he watches an episode of Flesh Wound and like somebody really likes a movie that he didn't like, or really dislikes a movie that he did, he can get that one and just
give it to you.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll show you.
You
that
have
which-
the VPN market cornered, so we had to think outside the box, and we got Fleshlight. So
There you go.
There you
There you go. And that leads me to Region Free's newest sponsor, the Real Doll. Where Lord is right now. Yeah, the Real Doll is. I'm just not yet. At least we're negotiating. I don't know if they're even still a real thing. No, nobody check. Nobody check.
They're like $5,000, I think. So whatever promo code, it helps.
It's money well spent. Trust. I've heard.
Or you could just learn to talk to girls.
Who wants to?
I know Vice did a story on the guy that maintains those for people. Cleans them
Wow.
up. And
That's the worst job ever.
What is the salary on that? I would
It
love
doesn't
Not
matter.
He does
There's
it.
no way it matters.
He does it because he loves it. He just loves the job.
Does he go to their house, or do you have to drop it off? I mean,
I think you mail it in to him.
Can you
And he
imagine
cleans it up
mailing
and
that
sends it
thing?
back.
Because you'd have to put it in like a crate. I know it arrives to you in like a crate.
Maybe you just take parts of it off that need cleaning. So I mean, maybe you're left without a head for a week.
That's even more disturbing. That you can dismember it.
The whole thing is disturbing, every which direction.
It is. Yeah. I guess when they've got their real doll in the shop, they go and they dig up a victim, and I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. The reason it may not be the worst job is because if like, okay, say you've got to clean crevices in these things, right? If you've got like family or friends that, have done you dirty for something, just when next time you're over at their house, just steal their toothbrush.
Oh.
Do what you need to do and just replace it. Like nothing happened.
You're not making it better, Sam.
I'm making it awesome. I know.
All right, let's move on. I agree with Cliff. This is the hottest conversation I've ever heard. Also, we've had some really hot conversations on this show and the Sausage Factory, but this one beats them all. This one trumps them all. Anyhow, oh my God, I don't know how we segue away from that.
No, how do you follow it?
I don't know. Let's talk about it. If you, I can't segue from that into paying tribute to Betty White. So let's segue from that.
I think you do that.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. We'll all go to hell for that.
Speaking of no,
let's talk.
That's
Have
a
you
tough
guys seen?
segue.
Have you guys seen any good movies lately? Do it that way.
I have been watching a lot lately. I have a list of 100 movies that came out in 2021, and they're all horror movies, and I've watched 94.
Wow!
So
very cool.
Close. I saw Meander, which I liked a lot. That synopsis reads just like a Cube Saw ripoff, but there's a lot more to it. It's free on well, not free, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it now. Loved that movie. I saw The Medium not too long ago, and I really liked it. Another one that I believe Sam was a fan of was Come True, which I missed earlier in the year, and I did enjoy that quite a bit.
I like that one quite a bit as well.
That one's on my list. That one's on my list.
Or Hulu, I believe.
Yes.
I think so. It should still be there. Yeah, no, that one's super solid. There's so much symbolism in it, and again, if you've read any Carl Jung, it's your horror wet dream right there. Although the plot kind of goes in a weird direction at the end, but I'm not going to say shit about it. I think they did a great job.
Did it remind you at all of It Follows?
No, this didn't give me those vibes. Should it?
Okay. I heard somebody compare it to It Follows.
If it was our show, I think it was because that's a movie that splits people. And this Come True's not one that everybody's gonna like, but if you want one you kind of have to think about a little bit at the end. I mean, certain things are left to interpretation, I guess, but I just really liked it. It's a handful of movies this year. We Need to Do Something is another one that, again, it's going to be 50-50 with people, but I'm still thinking about it. Caveat Piz is one you mentioned recently. I like that one too. Very odd, and so I'm just kind of going through the ones I missed this year, and I don't have very many left. The Sadness is one I'm trying to track down.
Yeah, I'm trying to track that one down too. Yeah. It's not. I can't find it streaming anywhere legally. That is, I don't do anything illegal with that.
Yeah, it's a zombie film from Taiwan. And,
yes, it is.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be very good. Supposed to be good. Nice. But yeah, I'm kind of doing the same thing where I'm trying to watch, catch up on everything that I missed in 2021. Maybe going to do a top 10 list. So, but I'm surprised at the number of movies from 2021 that I've actually got on that list to narrow down actually. So, but yeah.
Shudder's a good resource. I mean, a good chunk of those are on Shudder. So
there's a lot on Shudder. The Medium is on Shudder. Caveat is on Shudder. There's a lot of good stuff on Shudder. A lot of good stuff on Shudder. Anybody else see anything good lately?
I've seen. I did watch a couple of things that are besides We Need to Do Something. That one, I can definitely understand where it's going to split people. That movie is wild, and also the writer Max Booth from San Antonio. So
I have the book too.
Did he? Did he write?
Did he write The Greasy Strangler? That name sounds familiar.
No.
Great
Okay,
question. I have
okay.
no clue. It was a very fun movie. It was definitely very much like, because again, I was trying to explain this movie, explain the plot as it happened to my husband who was at work and not watching it with me. And it was like listening to a toddler or 4-year-old, just, a little kid try and tell you a story, So there's things keep changing and you can't keep track of the plot, but it is there. It's a very fun movie.
Is it on Shudder?
Hulu.
Hulu,
Okay. Yeah.
That's a Hulu one. Also, I watched Don't Look Up, which not a horror movie, but that's on Netflix right now. It's kind of like a climate crisis parody movie, and I got some solid laughs out of it just because it made fun of government, which I'm like, cool, what's for that?
I've heard nothing but good things about that.
I've heard mixed reviews, to be honest. Like some people just think it's not good, and I'm just like, it's funny to me. But I think it's sort of like you can't take anything seriously, and you have to realize it's like federal government is a joke, and it's like that's your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with Sam, and she actually I totally forgot I watched that too. After you asked the question about what we've watched, honestly, man, I know earlier we said we don't really do a lot of resolutions anymore, but I need to make one now. I'm very bad at watching current movies. Like I'm terrible. I have like not a lot of interest in a lot of stuff that comes out now. So I listen to a lot of these shows and I'm like, I'll try that one. Because 9 times out of 10, I find that I'm like really disappointed. Listening to a lot of these people's like 2021 top horror lists, I'm like, holy shit, I've seen like 1 or 2 movies out of like all 10 that these people are talking about. But I did watch Don't Look Up and I thought it was good. And I found it good for the same reason Sam did, is that like, it's to me, I feel like there's a lot more truth to it than it being comedic in a way. But so I thought it was enjoyable. I did watch a movie from Kino that I got called Vampire Motorcycle. Has anybody else seen this? I'm sure
I bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Wild,
it wasn't bad. It was pretty good, actually. A lot better than I would have thought it was going to be. I heard some people talking about it, so I gave it a try on their sale, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. And I've been watching Cobra Kai and stuff like that, but a lot of these new ones I have not watched at all. And so, any recommendations that you guys have from last year, definitely interested, because like I said, I've rarely watched a lot of current stuff.
Okay, cool. Lauren, you seen anything good lately?
I finally tracked down a copy of The Third Face with subtitles, which is infamously the film that I went to the theater and then they sold me a ticket for, sat me in the theater, and then I had to, when the movie didn't start, I had to go out to the lobby to discover from the manager that they didn't actually receive the movie. So for the longest time, it was just this kind of hassle of trying to find a print with subtitles of the film. And I finally did. And unfortunately, it pretty much disappointed me. It has its moments. but it's not great. I don't know if we talked about this last show or not. I finally bit the bullet and watched the Train to Busan prequel, the animated prequel, Seoul Station, and I loved it. And I really hate myself for waiting as long as I did simply because it was animated. That trilogy is now, I think, my favorite zombie trilogy, period, because each film in its own right does its own thing. And you can dislike what a film decided to be, but they don't try and be each other. And I think that's really bold and it's really brave. And when you think about it, the zombie thing usually falls on its face at a certain point. So for me, 3 films in a row in a series that all work for me. I think if anyone's dismissing them just because the first film is obviously a classic, and I mean that, I don't mean a modern classic, I mean just stone cold a classic. Yeah, okay, neither of the other two are that. But Jesus, man, I had a lot of fun with all 3 of them, so I'll take them.
I couldn't find the animated one on Shudder. I found Train, but not the Train and Peninsula, but not the animated one.
I actually, and I'm not generally speaking, I'm not a big animation guy, but I thought that was actually even better than Peninsula, which I liked, but I think they did an excellent job on the on Seoul Station. If you haven't, even if you think animated, check it out. That had a great story, and it's a lot darker than I expected it to be.
There is a common theme through the 3 movies. They're just presented so differently that they're all relationship movies in which no one is allowed to be with the people they're in the relationship with. And I think that's fascinating because that's what all 3 movies do. But the stories themselves are just vastly different. So I mean, if and I know a lot of people have very mixed feelings on Peninsula. I think if you get Train to Busan out of your head and watch it, you'll have a better time than if you try and contextualize it with that first film, just because the first film is so great. But I like all 3 films a lot. So,
what about you, Stinger? You seen anything good lately?
So the Advent calendar. I know it's been a few weeks ago. I like that one a lot. Been watching a lot of television lately. Been going back to The Office. You know, on Peacock. They've got the super fan editions that are like longer, extended cuts of the episodes. So
yeah,
going back through that.
But they've edited quite a few of those episodes and removed at least 1 or 2, right?
Yeah. That's kind of when I figured that out when I was going through those again. Yeah, physical media.
Well, we'll get there.
Everybody's seen this one yet?
I liked Nobody.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. It just came in.
I'm looking forward to it.
I enjoyed it. There's a piece of stunt casting in it that I think the film would have been stronger without. But other than that, it's really solid and fun.
And this is the Blu-ray set that Lauren had recommended.
Ah, okay.
So I'm finally getting into these damn things. Sorry, I know I'm very green on this era, so I'm going to try to remedy that. Those
are coming in 4K soon too.
You know, that's I should be the target market for a 4K of the Universal Monsters. I just should. But I've kind of hit the wall. It's like I think it looks as good as it's going to look, honestly. Films from the era, because of preservation, not because of the medium. I think I'm okay. I mean, I think the films look awesome on the set Jay is holding. I don't see a reason to go beyond it at this point, even though Bride is my favorite film of all time. So
you would think it has to plateau out at some point, right? I mean, as many we've upscaled this thing over and over again.
Well, the film frame, if we could scan it down to the particle, would be the most clear media possible. It's not like digital where you do hit a wall just based on what it was recorded in. But our eyes can't tell a difference after a certain point. And even in the reason we don't see a huge difference in a UHD release that doesn't have HDR is because we're better at detecting colors than we are at defining lines. So unless you have a film with a lot of HDR, generally speaking, that upgrade is not as big. And with black and white films, especially in an era when these were originally cut into non-safety prints, nitrate prints, there's just a question about what the top end can really look like. I love the idea of us preserving them on the format so that we have theatrical releases for all time on these movies. Don't get me wrong, but for the home, I think I'm okay with my Blu-rays. That said, Jay, watch Invisible Man first, even though it's not my favorite classic monster film. That print is deliriously good.
Will do. I
Is
finally
it
got my
Is it
setup
as good
up
as
here,
Eddie
so-
Murphy's Delirious, though?
I'm not going there.
Okay. I'm sorry. What were you going to say, Stingray?
I was saying I finally got my movie room set up, so got a new TV in here, got my 4K player hooked up, so
Oh, cool.
my surround sound and everything. Only took me 5 years.
But it happened. It happened.
It happened.
Did you go wireless with your rear speakers?
No, it's just
Neither did I.
5.1.
I just ran wires. I don't care.
It's yeah.
I
Nobody's
finally saw.
brought up. Oh, sorry.
I finally saw Antlers. I've waited like 3 years to see Antlers. I finally saw Antlers. It was good. It wasn't great. But it was good. It was good.
I liked Antlers. Red Rocket. I know at least a few of us saw that.
I watched Red Rocket today. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Wild movie.
Not a horror
This
film.
is how you enjoy Red Rockets. Go for it.
I was waiting.
Sorry.
It's
Not
hard.
a horror film. The new A24 movie starring Simon Rex as an adult film star who goes back home to his small Texas town.
No wonder.
And he is a very interesting character.
Is this a documentary? Because who's heard of Simon Rex lately?
Well, he did do some adult stuff in the beginning. So I mean,
Oh shit! I didn't know that. Okay, that's my bad.
He did. It's just it's really it's a fun movie. I recommend it. It's
basically about Tom Byron, essentially.
So is this the Tom Byron story, kind of like Boogie Nights was the kind of like the John Holmes story?
More or less. I mean, very similar. Yeah.
Does this mean Simon Rex is going to be in all the new Transformers movies? What? Oh, sorry.
I think it's maybe a Simon Rex resurgence. Which I mean, who would have thought there'd be a Simon Rex resurgence? But he's really good in the movie. You should check it out, Sam.
I think you'd like it. It's very revealing, but funny and kind of sad in a way.
The full range of emotions. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's it kind of
Yeah.
You should watch it, Sam.
Still, we're trying to get through get around to Matrix Resurrections. We just finished Reloaded, and
No,
I'm gonna do it.
Do a review. Do a review.
No, I mean, sure, why not? I think Reloaded actually is rather underrated. Looking at it again from many years ago, that was the first I saw that Matrix movie in theaters. I wasn't able to see the first one in theaters, so it'd been forever since I saw Reloaded. But then kind of how the first movie is more like focuses more on the idea of simulation theory, and then they start kind of expanding into the fact that at some point, Agent Smith and Neo have had those interactions, and I'm like, okay, so at some point, like, you got Agent Smith and my Neo, you got Neo and my Agent Smith happened, and Agent Smith is like, now, look, I'm not going to go and, like, this is just where I am right now revisiting everything. These are just current thoughts. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. It's totally cool. So it's like, it seems like Agent Smith is just becoming, is now sentient. Neo is able to control the Matrix, or able to control things in the Matrix. But I'm like, all these other motherfuckers that got free from the Matrix, how can you people not do this? Because clearly you've had, like, I feel like there's at some point you freed your mind and you are able to control things to an extent. You see some of that with Trinity and Morpheus, but they're not stopping bullets. They're not looking at the code happening. But,
Here's the thing, Sam. Everything you said about recapping the plot up to that point is absolutely true, and none of it matters for Revolutions.
Well, here's also the thing where what I'm thinking is like, because it feels like that at this point after watching Reloaded, I'm like, okay, well, Neo after that EMP blast hits all the Sentinels and Neo falls too. I'm like, okay, so this is there's just are there layers of simulacra here?
It doesn't get that creative. It doesn't get that creative. It really doesn't.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They basically made it so they didn't lose the rights. Is that right?
Well, I heard that. I heard
Lana or Lily. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, I heard that they had told Lana that they were gonna Warner Brothers that they're gonna do another one, whether she's on board or not.
Okay, that must have been what it was.
And so she was like, oh, "Okay."
I just don't get from the life of me. So they say, okay, we had a big hit with Matrix. We had 2 sequels that the box office on the first sequel was okay, and this on the third one was abysmal. No one talks about these movies anymore, and people only buy the first film. If they buy the second and third, it's only in a box set with the first film. Right. That's the playing field, right? Now, if you were like a rational person, you'd probably say, hey, what if we take another property like this and start something fresh that would appeal to the same audience group and promote it for a year and a half before releasing it? So you get like William Gibson's Virtual Light, right? Rather than a Matrix sequel that no one's gonna want. And ultimately, no one did want.
Yeah.
No one wanted it.
And it sounded like nobody really even wanted to make it. So, I mean, yeah.
I haven't heard one positive thing from anybody about that movie.
I haven't either.
I have.
Really?
I want to watch it.
I've heard it. Yeah, like that, because it's, some people are really on board with the idea of it's, not just the one, it's the 2. And I'm like, well, duh, but I mean, I don't know why this is groundbreaking or anything. Some people have really liked it. I find it hilarious that it's kind of, obviously it brought red pill into our vocabulary as a society, and those that tend to lean more conservatively tend to use that more often for a lot of reasons, including the red pill documentary anyway. But there's also what I like about the Matrix doing, and going back and rewatching these things, especially with Reloaded, because you've got the effect of Neo and Agent Smith on each other. So they each have a little bit of each other inside of them. And it's not binary. But we're still co-opting the phrase red pilling like it's binary. And this is the part, which I love, where it's like, here's where your ideology collapses. And ideology always does. And it's fabulous. I don't care where you stand. That's the closest you're getting to a Sam Slams, though.
Dookie Howser is no replacement for Hugo Weaving. I'm sorry.
Did you say Dookie?
Dookie Howser.
I know.
Jay, you know Dookie Howser.
Yeah.
Come on.
Neil Patrick here.
No, I mean, like, Reloaded, though, I really liked it. Really liked seeing it again. So, I don't know, I think if anybody has is any kind of like philosophy nerd, go back and pay attention to it, especially pay attention to the dialogue and think about it. And, some of it, you might get some new ideas about the Matrix in general, about what they're trying to do with those themes.
A couple other recent watches for me that I would recommend. Caveat. Dan mentioned Caveat. I really enjoyed it. It's this very odd, creepy, at times pretty funny movie. Lynchian at times, I would say too. Really enjoyed it. The Medium, which is also on Shudder, really liked it too. I thought it went a little too long, but really solid. And Candisha, which is from the Inside guys, Julian Maury and forget the other guy's name. It is what the Candyman remake should have been. It's Candyman-ish, but much better than the Candyman remake. So definitely recommend it too. Yes.
If you want Human Centipede without the scat, 2 on Netflix was interesting. Not a great movie, but 70 minutes. It didn't waste my time. About this 2 strangers who wake up sewn together at the abdomen in a hotel room, and yeah, a little more classy than Human Centipede, but held my attention for a little over an hour. Wasn't too bad. Yeah, I need to see Licorice Pizza. That's the non-horror movie right now that a lot of people have told me is great, and I haven't gotten to the theater yet.
I've liked pretty much all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies.
Yeah,
I can't think of one I didn't like. They've all been good. So yeah.
I definitely want to check that out. Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is in the lead. So,
oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, all the attention's going to the lady from Haim, who's the star. So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I thought they were just called Haim. I thought maybe they were like they were like big fans of Corey Haim or something. But no, they pronounce it Haim. So anyway, let me do some shout outs here. I didn't shout out everybody who's watching. Let me do that, and then we'll dive into some other topics. We've got Roland666 in the house, Paul, Punisher Batman fan, Holiday Styles, Big Crack Rock. How's it going, Crack Rock? Dr. CZ Death, that's Mr. Sam, I do believe.
Yep.
Future Boy, how's it going, Future Boy? Brian Trash, The Daily Ghost, Nick W, Horrid Films, Mike Barrett, Cliff Booth, Media Dude 95. There's hey, isn't that Devon Graham? How are you doing? Borderline 11, Captain Halloween, my old buddy Keith. There's Orc, Dave from Jersey, Kim Amin Chun Lee. Hello. All right, cool. So we got a.
Can someone get some Russian bots in here already?
We've gone for almost 45 minutes and no Russian bots in here.
This show's a failure, clearly.
Yeah, jeez. Well, let's talk about some folks who've passed recently. I think we need to dedicate this episode. Let's actually not dedicate this episode unless we edit out the part about let's not go back there.
Yeah.
But Betty White passed away. Betty White passed away at the age of 99, just before on New Year's Eve, and she was only like a couple of weeks away from being 100. Mm-hmm. My goodness. I said to someone that I think this is a sign of that the rapture is imminent, and God just took Betty early.
You mean the Blondie song?
Maybe that song will play during the rapture. I don't know. We'll see.
Thank you for being a friend, Betty.
It's imminent. I think it's imminent. If Betty White died on New Year's Eve, a couple of weeks away from her 100th birthday, something's off. Something's just off.
They haven't fired up the Hadron Collider yet, I don't think, but they're thinking about doing that again this year. That's what I heard. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm all for the meteor hitting the the collider.
The K2 comet is not going to hit the Earth. I am sorry. That is actually not until December of this coming year, which they should have waited to put out for Don't Look Up, because it's also an Oort cloud comet.
Did anybody rewatch Lake Placid afterwards? Because she's so good in that.
Yeah, she is good in that.
I loved her in Mary Tyler Moore. That's how I found her. And then Golden Girls.
Mm-hmm.
But preaching to the choir, I know.
No, you're not preaching to the choir. I don't care at all.
Oh,
I like Lake Placid as a movie, fine, but I have no connection to Betty White whatsoever. I have no warm fuzzies, whatever. Listen, if all of us get to be 99, it won't be a tragedy when we leave. I promise you.
Listen. Somebody, and I totally agree with that sentiment. Somebody posted we shouldn't be sad for Betty White. She lived to be 99 years old. She was well-to-do. She was blah 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 blah. She hit the high score. We should all be happy.
Yeah.
So I agree. She hit the high score. Good for her.
Cool.
Look, Lauren's more of an Estelle Getty guy. He's got to stop, or my mom will shoot poster in the background there.
I knew it.
You
I
can't
knew
see
it. I knew it.
Signed by
Listen.
Sly and Getty. It's
Oh,
rare.
wow. Jeez. When is your birthday, Lauren, so I can send you the Golden Girls box set?
Oh, it's only on leap years, so you're gonna have to wait a bit.
Okay. I'll just send it just to send it then. Just out of the kindness of my heart.
Then I'll be sure to have a return package come to you.
God.
No, it's just a weird thing like that. We're all expected, or at least performatively expected to have been shocked, but that a 99-year-old died.
No, it's.
I mean, remember when the actor who played Fish died, and everyone had the same reaction, and that guy was like 98 or something too. Newsflash:
yeah.
people in their late 90s die.
I'm
Abe
just surprised
Vigoda?
Bob
Is that his name?
Abe Vigoda is correct.
Abe Vigoda. But yeah, Betty White, she hit the high score. So I mean, she will be
Plus-
missed though.
That is honestly also the universe having a sense of humor, because y'all remember all the promotional materials for her 100th birthday celebration.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, just kidding.
Yeah. We also lost director Peter Bogdanovich. That was announced today, which is very unfortunate. Peter Bogdanovich, very good filmmaker. What was the movie he made about the guy who climbed to the top of the thing in Texas and was sniping people? What was that movie called? I forget. Real great movie. He also directed The Last Picture Show, which is great. Targets.
Targets.
Right,
Yeah.
Targets. Yeah. He also directed The Last Picture Show, which is great. Mask with Eric Stoltz. So, really talented filmmaker. I also caught Joe Bob's Last Drive-In 2021 Memoriam, and I was shocked by the number of people that I had no idea had passed away last year. Like Alan Parker, I had no idea he passed away. Ben Cross, I had no idea Ben Cross had passed away either.
The second Barnabas Collins.
The second Barnabas Collins, that's correct. Ron Kurz, the screenwriter of Friday the 13th Part 2, passed away last year.
Not going to get those rights back now.
No. And Sonny Chiba, the Street Fighter, passed away last year. I had no idea. And I love Sonny Chiba.
How old was he? He had to have been up there, right?
Yeah, he had to be up there.
Yeah, he had to be around 80, I'd say. Close, if not.
He was born in 39. So, I mean, you do the math.
Well, yeah. So.
But a couple other names stuck out to me that was on that list. Daria Nicolodi. I'd forgotten that she had passed away. Director Monty Hellman. I'd forgotten that he'd passed away. Julie Strain. I'd forgotten that Julie Strain passed away last year also.
Yeah, she was a nice lady too. I don't know if you ever got to meet her.
Never had the chance to meet her. No.
And that was a weird one because like a couple weeks before that, there had been a rumor about her having passed away, and everyone kind of like came out and poured out support and memories, and then it really happened, and it kind of was quiet about the real event.
The same thing happened to the actress that was in Beastmaster who passed away, Tanya Roberts. Yeah, it's weird.
She had a head injury when she was like a teenager, lost her entire life, didn't remember anything, and unfortunately it came back to haunt her in her final years. But Julie Strain was really talented. I mean, she did a lot. Obviously, most of the stuff she did was, soft core kind of B movie stuff, but she always was like game. She always elevated the movies that she was in. She embraced the weirdness, and even something like the How to Make a Monster remake, which is not a good movie, but Julie was in there and she was game. I love Julie. And as far as Sony Chiba goes, a sort of horror suggestion, Wolf Guy, very bizarre 70s film he did that Arrow put out on Blu-ray a few years back. You guys might want to check that out. I think it was on Shudder at one point. I don't know if it still is.
A couple of other names that kind of hit the gut was John Saxon, of course, venerable actor John Saxon, Joel Schumacher. That was one that hurt. And Rutger Hauer, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
such a loss there. Such a loss. And we're getting, well, I'll save it. I'm sure that'll probably be brought up in the our live Rad report later. But yeah, we lost a lot of really talented people last year.
It's amazing when you go over Rutger's filmography, and I mean, obviously everybody knows Blade Runner and you know the big ones, but there's a lot of obscure stuff that he did. Blood of Heroes with Vincent D'Onofrio, which is a lot of fun. If you're a Mad Max fan, you should definitely check out Blood of Heroes. Rutger, as good as it gets in terms of acting.
Yeah, great actor. And again, and I know I've mentioned this in the past, but that whole speech he gives at the end of Blade Runner when he's about to die, that was all Rutger. He wrote that.
Yeah, Tears in the Rain. That's a classic.
Yeah. So, let's talk about Scream 2022. You guys excited for Scream?
They're making another Scream movie?
They've made another Scream movie.
I had no idea.
They've made another Scream movie, yes. And the rumor or I think the fear is that it's going to be pushed back because of the Omicron. And they've already pushed back Morbius. But,
I've been seeing some horror critics lobby real hard for VOD release for Scream. So I don't know. I'm just like, at this point, I'm just like, I was just at Hamilton. I can guarantee you I'm going to fucking catch it. And I'm just like, I just don't care anymore. I've been vaxxed and I've got my flu shot and I wore a mask and I just don't fucking care. I'm just going to go to the fucking movie.
Yeah. But that is the big fear that I've seen a lot of people posting about online is it going to get postponed? Is it going to get moved? Yada, yada, yada. I don't know. They've not done anything officially, and I mean it comes out next Friday, so
it'd be awfully late to
it would be awfully late to do it at this point. Yeah.
And it has no competition right now, so I mean, I keep the date. I think it's gonna make a lot of money, and I'd be lying if I said I was excited for it, but I've heard some rumors that I think might actually be pretty good and not what you think. So, hey, I'm going to check it out. I certainly hope it is.
It's industry tracking at between 35 and 40, which is way lower than what they had been hoping, and they're not sure why. So, certainly if it gets delayed, I think it might have more to do with just the uncertainty of the marketplace.
Which I don't know why it would be downtracking like that, because I mean there's no competition.
January.
But still, but still, I mean, there's just no competition for it. And I mean, the buzz is there for it. The excitement is there for it.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, are you on Twitter at all?
I mean, I'll say this. I have not seen a one trailer for that at all. Not even one.
Good.
I mean, I'm not searching it out either. So like I've seen it pop up here and there, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not gonna watch this just in case I do see it. I'd rather go into it blind. But
yeah,
I mean, I see it out there, but like I said, I've been able to avoid everything from it.
I think there's
the trailer I've seen. I don't think it gives a lot away, really.
I just don't. You've waited this long, Garrett. Don't watch any trailer stuff.
Nah.
Although the trailers are the rumor is they're purposefully deceptive.
I hope so.
Always.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean,
Sorry, I think I'm sorry. No, I think the average moviegoer looks at that trailer and thinks same old shit, but
they're gonna see it. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah, but yeah, and I don't know. I have faith. I think new directors.
Yeah,
the directors are the high point and the only interest point for me.
Yeah.
Because Ready or Not is again another Stone Cold classic in modern times, but I think there might be a little bit of bubble going on here, guys. The mainstream doesn't care. I'm telling. They know all the market internal research on this says that this is definitely going to be the worst performing Scream film.
Well, the press screenings I think are happening on
and that kind of tells the story.
Next Wednesday. So I mean, I think we'll hear a lot. We'll hear. There'll be a lot of buzz next Tuesday.
Yeah, it's the amount of promotion that they're doing. Also, just Fangoria and that GD stab cover. Oh my goodness! I know I've seen like every other picture on my top, like going through Twitter, is that stab Fango cover. I'm like, I know, I get it, we're good, but like I've been seeing like promotional swag being sent out to people that have like 200 followers. I'm like, is this desperation? I'm confused. Also, they had Scream NFTs. I'm like, who is that for? And then some people were all butthurt about it because NFTs are bad for some reason that I don't know about because I don't know what they do.
I don't. Yeah, I don't even know what I don't want to know what those things are. I don't care.
It's very strange. Like, who is? I don't understand the marketing on it.
Yeah, I just hope it ends up being a solid film. I had no interest, but again, Ready or Not was awesome. So hopefully I'll be surprised and this completely reinvents the wheel. And then that'll be, like Lauren said, the one that fails. It'll be brilliant, and then nobody goes to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like those movies in general. Scream 3, but I do like that franchise a lot. It's in my top 3 franchises, and so I am going to go see Scream 5, and I am looking forward to it. I just don't have really like expectations. I'm sort of like, cool, another movie from a franchise that I like and I'm familiar with. Let's see some kills. Let's have some ghost face. Let me enjoy my day. Those are my expectations.
I think those are the best. I think, yeah, that's if I was going to say I've got a New Year's resolution, it would be to try not to go into movies with too many expectations, because it seems like my expectations are but
just don't watch the big Hollywood dreck then. I mean, you'll be better off.
Well, I mean, I think I want to be pleasantly surprised by the good stuff, and
you're not the only stuff there anyway.
Well, I don't know, sometimes, occasionally, maybe.
When was the last time you saw something that you thought was truly excellent as a major release? Probably Ready or Not, frankly.
Well, Ready or Not, I liked a lot. It Chapter 1, I liked a lot. That one really.
Chapter 1 was very good.
I mean, I'd have to think, but there's 2 right off the top of my head. But I mean, really, the past couple of years, I've not really gone to the theater that much. So I don't know. I've not liked any of the Scream sequels, to be honest. But I'm excited about this new Scream because it is a breath of fresh air creatively. It's the Ready or Not guys. The legacy characters are not supposed to be the main focus. I want to see new characters. So yeah.
All the legacy characters need to die. All of them.
I agree.
Because it ceases being horror if these characters are safe.
Yeah.
Scream 4 had me, at the end of Scream 4, like I was really thinking Sydney was going to die, and I got shafted out of that because it was, there was some good suspense created there, and if I'm not going to get Sydney as the killer, I'll take her dead. And I know it sounds bad, but it's just like that's just do something different.
They would never do this, but I mean, could you imagine the movie opening with Sydney dying? I mean, that would.
God, that would be amazing.
That would be insane.
If she's not the killer or dies, I'm going to be disappointed. They got to deliver. Come on.
What really has to happen in these days of movie universes is halfway through the film, all the legacy characters wake up in a jigsaw trap.
There you go.
Just cross the franchises and just end both in one foul move.
There you go.
Speaking of Jigsaw, like I've been binging Intervention on Hulu, and you know what? The music from Intervention, it's just the theme from Saw, just tweaked a little bit. I promise. It's so weird.
Is it? Did Charlie Clouser actually do the theme there as well, or because it might be like a Harry Manfredini thing, where you hire him and he goes, I can just tweak what I got. We're good.
Yeah, that would require me spending like 0.5 seconds Googling it, and that just seems like a lot of time.
Harry Manfredini was like, I got it right this one time with Friday the 13th. I'll add a little extra dinner in there, and that's your score.
It's the Slaughter High thing, right?
That's the Slaughter High thing. Yeah, there's another. Well, even House has Friday the 13th. It sounds like Friday the 13th. Anyway,
the one time he tried to do something different was Deep Star 6, and like everyone hated it. So he's like, no, screw it. We're back to the Friday.
back to Friday. Yeah, back to Friday.
I'm more excited for Scream than Morbius because I'll be honest, I think Morbius looks bad. It's a jokey vampire flick. I mean, I thought the effects look bad. The humor is stupid. I can already tell that from the trailer. I guess it'll make a ton of money because of the Spider-Man connection, but man, I don't get the enthusiasm for this one.
That's the rumor, is that the rumor why they pushed it back isn't because of Omicron, is because they're
adding another character.
They're gonna because of the Spider-Man Homecoming or whatever. It's got all 3 Spider-Men in it, and so they're trying to change Morbius around. Sure. There we go. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, Morbius, for them to make a good Morbius movie, it would have to be R-rated, and I mean, you'd have to because Morbius is an anti-hero.
There's a story there.
There's a story there for sure, yeah. But I mean, not going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't want Morbius cracking dumb one-liners, and it's not the movie I want. I don't think I'll see it. I didn't see Spider-Man. I don't think I'm going to see Morbius.
Yeah, I'll see Morbius. I don't know if I'll run out to the theater and see it. I do want to see it, but I don't know. Again, expectations, I've got to bring those down, or just go in with no expectations.
Give him a cheeseburger. That's all you need. Tomb of Dracula.
That's what needs to happen. Yeah. Sovereign of the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
Is it who's playing Morbius?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, that's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jared Leto.
That'll be fun.
Do you think that Jared Leto was born to just be the guy who makes the Marilyn Manson biopic?
That's got to happen now,
right?
Yeah, it's got to.
He could do it. He could do it. He played what's his name? Who shot Lennon? He can play anything, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So
I wish we could have seen his Creep Show episode, but it's gone. Yeah. Lost to time, I guess.
Do you think we can get Rose McGowan to play Rose McGowan in it?
Probably. I don't see why not.
Was it Marilyn Manson's canceled now, right? So that's why we didn't get that Creep Show episode.
I think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes he was. Now no one cares again.
I think that's true. Nobody cares.
I can't keep track.
Because when you're worried about morality, when you're listening to an artist that's named himself Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you kind of feel like, say, well, what did you expect? You were in a relationship with Marilyn Manson. Were you expecting puppy dogs and walks on the beach at sunset and chocolates and flowers? That's Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, nobody deserves, to be treated certain ways, but I mean, it's Marilyn Manson. Like you said, when I was a teenager, I went and saw Marilyn Manson, and he stood on stage and cut himself on the chest with a bottle. I mean, I don't know what they really thought they were getting into with that,
High art.
Yeah,
but
yeah, exactly. I mean, here's how he proposed. He gets a Bible, he rips it into pieces, he eats it, then he mutilates himself with a bottle. He writes "Marry Me" on his chest, and he's like,
Didn't he point an AK-47 or something like at the crowd once and got some heat for that not too long before?
Well, to be fair, the Butthole Surfers used to fire a shotgun at the beginning of every one of their shows into the air. So, is it really so different?
He did rub his groin on the head of security personnel who sued him later for sexual assault.
I mean, it is crazy. Like, what about things like Gwar? Like, are they not allowed to do all their antics anymore? Does anybody know?
Are they even? They're still together.
Yeah, the surviving members,
yeah, the surviving members.
But you know what? Rock and roll should be dangerous, though. You know, I mean, I'm not supporting people in their private life doing horrible things, but you should walk into a rock show thinking you're probably coming out with some bruises and maybe needing to scrub part of your brain about a few things you saw. It's kind of like that's what rock and roll should be.
Yeah, Travis Scott. He puts on great shows.
Yes, but besides that, how was the show, Mrs. Lincoln?
It's not rock and roll unless you have balls on your head.
Yeah. Hold on, I've got a chip of skull in my mouth. Hold on. Okay, it was a great show.
As someone who's gone directly from a show to the hospital,
It happens. I
Yeah.
had a friend who broke his wrist in a mosh pit.
Yeah.
It's normal stuff.
I know a few guys that have eaten shit in the mosh pit, but they were like 300 pounds, so I don't know why they thought somebody was going to catch them.
Oh, I thought you meant they literally ate feces.
Oh no, probably that too.
That's a G.G. Allen show.
You know that's happened. Yeah, you know that's happened.
The Murder Junkies final tour.
Yeah, you know that definitely happened. Oh,
It kind of reminds me of the beginning of Last House on the Left. It's like, what band are you going to see? Yeah, this is pretty much what you're going to get.
Yeah, without Odorous Ungress, it's not really Guar, I don't think. So,
Guar in name only.
Manson looked pretty sad live. I never saw him live, but towards the end, I heard some reports that he was pretty catatonic. So, I don't know. I still have to see Rob Zombie live, though. I've only heard good things about him.
Yeah, he was good live, but I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen these guys. Like Rob Zombie, I saw in like probably the early 2000s. Marilyn Manson, I saw, I think it was like 98. So yeah, I haven't seen him since.
There for a long time, YouTube kept recommending me a Rob Zombie live performance. I think it was on Ozfest where they were in Colorado, and like Rob Zombie's out of breath as soon as he starts because it's and he's like dragon, yeah. Like the whole stage
he's pushing 60. I mean,
I chalked this up to just the thin air, but yeah, he was having a really hard time catching his breath. But yeah,
I had tickets to see Manson one time. It was Helmet was opening for Manson, and I was a huge fan of both.
Yeah.
And they did this thing where like it was a bunch of like candlelight prayer vigils, and somehow they got the concert canceled. I don't know how that works. But,
that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah. During the Antichrist Superstar tour.
Yeah, that's the one. I was like, what is that? 99, 2000 probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's when you should have went to see Manson. That was prime Manson right there.
Yep.
I saw Manson open for 9 Inch Nails at the Tower Theater in like 93.
Oh,
and,
wow.
He wasn't really Manson yet. I mean, the show was about like 40% there.
Was it Manson and the Spooky Kids, or were they officially Marilyn Manson?
It was just Marilyn Manson on the ticket. But it was a lot of covers because the EP was out, but Portrait wasn't out yet.
Yeah, Portrait was like what, 96? Something like that.
I think 95.
Yeah, I was gonna say mid 90s for sure.
Yeah. But that was that tour was the Nothing Records tour because Trent had just kind of formed Nothing as a real label, and Tower Theater in Philly is a converted movie theater that did live performances. I think they still do, but it was a good place to get stranded because the SEPTA trains stopped running at midnight. Yeah, it was a fun night.
What's your wildest concert ever, Lauren? One that just got way out of control.
Ministry, mid late 90s. It was the Filth Pig tour. My biggest memory is security just starting screaming and running to the middle of the pit and I'm in the pit, but they're pushing people out, and there was a lot of security. I will give them that. And it was because there was some guy high out of his mind on PCP or another like extreme drug.
Not at a ministry show.
With an X-Acto blades that he was swinging around. So the show stops and Ministry leave the stage, and like the lights come on and they're tackling this guy who's waving this blade around, and then the blade goes flying. people are running for the exits, but then everyone gets back and they're cheering for Ministry to come back out. Like 10 minutes later, like nothing just happened. And that guy was just out the doors and gone. Like security got a hold of him and he disappeared into the ether.
Wow.
It's either that or the Agnostic Front show at Airport Music Hall that shut down the club because it became a riot because all the skinheads started shit. That made the news. One of those two.
Yeah, I can see Jersey being a little rough in that hardcore scene in the mid to late '90s era.
The irony is that neither of those shows was in Jersey.
Oh, really?
Music Hall was in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and
wow,
the Ministry show was in New York. I believe that was either Tramps or Irving Plaza. I used to see so many shows that it's hard to keep them exactly straight, unless it was a good night, and those are good nights.
Went to some crazy wrestling shows in Allentown, so I can imagine.
Allentown is the third largest city in Pennsylvania, but you'd never know it to walk into it. Wow.
It all makes sense.
Well, what's on everybody's mind tonight? Anybody got anything pressing that they want to?
Oh, I forgot to mention that I really enjoyed Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm hearing good things.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm hearing good things. I haven't seen it, but I hear nothing but good things for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those very easy to please people when it's like, oh, comic book movie, cool. Usually, like, I will enjoy those unless it's Captain Marvel. That was a really boring movie and also very dumb in places. But in general, like I'm good with most comic book movies. But that's like 3 Spider-Men in one movie was very fun, and we went to go see that with family. And my brother-in-law is a huge Spider-Man fan, so as soon as spoilers, sorry, I'm sure you guys already know that they're all 3 of them are in there. He starts hitting his thighs, slapping them, losing his ever-loving shit, and it made the movie so much more fun that way. If you have a giant Spider-Man nerd in your group, please do it. It's very good. On the way home, like when we were driving on the way back, everybody in the car, this was fun because, I was saying like, man, I just wasn't expecting it, I haven't had like a really good theater experience for most of 2021. Because most of the times that I've been going to the theater, it was like Candyman, Halloween Kills, Death Rider in the House of Vampires, a whole bunch of stuff that I was just, And so I was very pleased with this. And my sister-in-law goes, Merry fucking Christmas. And on her side of the car, you can see right behind her. We pass because we're in a little rural area. You see this old man and his wife and their, I guess, granddaughter or grandson. I don't know. They're dressed up like Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and they've got a damn little elf with them. And they're just waving at people. They're just standing on the side of the road waving at people. They're so full of Christmas cheer. And that was a very weird experience.
Or they were just trying to get you to stop so they could rob you.
Yeah.
It's possible.
We should have veered into them. But, Christmas spirit.
Christmas spirit.
No, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way with Ghostbusters Afterlife, to be honest. It was myself and a couple other Ghostbuster nerds, and I kind of had the same feeling leaving that theater. So I get you.
No, I mean, we had fun at Ghostbusters as well, but, not as much as Spider-Man. Ghostbusters, I'm kind of just, oh man, I like that beginning. The first half of that movie is so good, and I'm just, that last half just kind of falls apart.
No.
Yeah.
I've yet to see it. I'll see it eventually.
Well, I've ruined most of it for you.
No, you haven't.
I think that Garrett needs to go and have the Rad Report because then I need to tear some things apart, and some of them he's going to mention.
Okay, Garrett, are you ready? Go for it, man.
Yeah, dude, let's do it. All right, so What's up, everybody? Garrett back here in this new edition of the Rad Report, where I go through all the new releases and physical media news for the next coming weeks. So we have dropping to this week was Antlers, Del Toro movie I have not seen. I know you guys kind of talked about that earlier. I have not seen Antlers at all. I know next week is a big week. You have Dune coming out, 4K. I think it's getting a steelbook as well. I haven't seen Dune either, but I hear actually pretty good things about it. H Kills is the one I'm kind of excited about because I'm curious to see what this extended footage is going to be. I do not have high hopes for it to be anything, mind-blowing, but I'm definitely interested in checking that out. I think it also has a steelbook that you can get from Best Buy as well, if that's your thing. Also, too, I also know that you're going to get the Temp. That is coming out from Shout Factory, and I think Whispers of the Dark is also coming out next week from Shout Factory. And the last one is Cobra Kai Season 3, which is only coming out on DVD. So I'm definitely passing on that. I think at the end of all this, you'll get a better, nicer set. So I'm just holding off. It's on Netflix. I don't need any physical media right now for it. So we go into the news, the physical media news for the next coming weeks. We found out that Alligator 4K is coming, but I'm kind of excited because it's got two versions of it. You've got a TV version and a theatrical coming. They just announced, and I'm kind of excited about that. I don't know what the difference is between the two. Lipstick is being announced by Scream Factory, which I actually think is a pretty interesting movie if you guys haven't seen it. I think that's the one with Chris Sarandon. So if it is, it's definitely one to check out. It's very odd. It's definitely one to check out for sure. Psycho Cop was just announced from Vinegar Syndrome, so they're going to be releasing that. I think they did put out Psycho Cop 2, and they also released some of their newer titles with Dead Heat on 4K. I know that as well. And Grindhouse Cinema is bringing out Death Game, which I don't know anything about, but I'm intrigued because I did hear that it was what's the movie with Keanu Reeves that they said that ripped this one off? Knock Knock. Does anybody like that one?
I've never heard of it.
All right, so Knock Knock, I guess they said ripped off Death Game, so I'm kind of interested in that. The big one that we have here is going to be The Hitcher is coming in 4K from Second Sight Films, so that's the big one that was just announced, and I'm definitely excited about that. And that is this week's edition of the Rad Report. And now we're getting back to the rest of Region Free.
Thank you very much, Garrett. And you just totally live. Just nailed it, man. Just absolutely freaking nailed it. So but yeah, a lot of interesting releases coming out. Excited for that Hitcher 4K. I believe that's coming from, was that Second Sight? I believe it's coming from Second Sight. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Alligator, of course, both Alligator films. I love Alligator and Alligator 2. So yeah, and for Alligator to get a 4K is very cool. I do agree with Mr. Sam there. That's taken.
Yeah. But if you hit yourself in the head too many times, you can only say Evil Dies Tonight for the rest of your life.
Yeah, do you guys think that there is really a lot that's going to be shown here on this extended, or do you think it's going to be just like 2 minutes or something?
It's from what I hear, it's not much. There is the different ending, which is a better ending, but
is it?
Yeah, the phone thing is better than what
it's
we
just
got.
called. Well, but everything you got is still there.
Yeah, but I like the phone thing yet. I like the phone thing.
It's just a callback to the first film again. It's just one more callback to the first film, and then you get Jamie to give her "I'm coming for you, Michael's" speech that ends the film. I like that. It's not where they're going to pick up the next film anyway, so it's going to make no sense.
That's true. That's true too. Yeah, unless it takes her a really long time to walk from the hospital to the Myers house, which I mean.
Well, she'll be doing it in a mask, so it makes sense.
It's true.
Did anybody else get all the Hans BR's full car set? I finally caved and I'm paying it down because I don't think some of those are going to get single releases.
I didn't get it.
No, I'm paying it down on Amazon right now. I was like,
Did anybody pick up any of the new Vinegar Syndrome stuff?
Not yet, but I will probably. At least I'll get Dead Heat. A lot of those other titles I'm not really familiar with. I think one's called like Curfew or something like that. I don't know if it was like a made-for-TV movie. I'm not sure what that was, but I don't know much about the other titles that they announced.
I did pre-order Girlfriend from Hell through them.
I did too.
Yeah, me too.
just one of the great joys of film history. It's not good. It's awesome.
And Warren sold it pretty hard. So
yeah. And I don't think they've officially announced Psycho Cop yet, but Bobby Ray Schaefer talked about it on social media today. So he's basically said that it's happening. But I'm excited for that. I love Psycho Cop. So
now, does anybody know anything about that Fortress of America? Does anybody know anything about that one?
Yeah.
That Vinegar Syndrome's putting out? It's worth the shit or no?
It was one of those VHS, like, you'd forget that you rented it. You rented it again, and it was kind of a lame action film, but you kept renting it anyway because you kept forgetting about it. Mm-hmm. So if you have the right nostalgia glasses on, you'll probably enjoy it. But if you don't have a history with it, it probably is going to be pretty underwhelming.
I also got the Ebola Syndrome 4K.
Oh, so good.
That was probably Ebola Syndrome. If Ebola Syndrome had come out this year, hands down, it would be my favorite movie of this year.
Oh, so Piz, if you go back to like the second episode of Sausage Factory I was ever on, we were asking for Halloween suggestions, and I did it by like year basically, and Ebola Syndrome was my obscurity for people to dig out. But that UHD is tremendous because it still looks like a Hong Kong film of the era. I was worried it was going to clean up too nice, but it's clear, it's beautiful, but it still looks like Hong Kong 1993, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Have you cracked it open yet, Jay?
I have not.
You're gonna love it. It is true uncut, but it's seconds. That we're missing off the previous
Dan
DVDs.
had recommended.
Yeah, that's a crazy movie. It's like let's just do all of this in one movie.
I also got the Creature.
Creature's awesome.
I also got Creature. I was going to get it during the Black Friday thing, but I held off. So I got Creature, and I managed to land one of the Amityville box sets before it sold out.
Oh,
so.
you did? How the hell did you move so fast? I didn't try for it, but I tried for something else, and it was like gone within like seconds.
I'll sell it to you for $500.
Oh no, I have it, but I was trying to get something else, and it sold out so fast, and I was like, damn, this is crazy.
Yeah, it went quick. So
I had a couple friends that just said, "Oh, gone!" Like they literally logged in immediately and just gone. I don't know how anybody got it.
When I added it to my cart, I want to say that it said that there were like 700 available, something like that. So I was thinking like, it'll be here for a little bit. And like, because I was streaming while this was going on, and I put it in my cart, and I started talking about other stuff, and I went back to the page and hit refresh, and it was like sold out. And I was like, well, oh shit, let me order it real quick. And I must have got it. So,
oh no, yeah, I didn't try for it. I tried for Evil Town, and it was like when I jumped in, it said 13 available, and by the time I hit checkout, it was gone.
Yeah.
So
you're not missing anything with Evil Town, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah, I'm not, but it was like one of those VSAs. I was like, it was one of the only ones I didn't have, and I was like, I'm gonna try for it, but didn't happen.
So, how many films are there that are canon in the Amityville set? Does it have like the new Bella Thorne one that came out a few years ago?
No, it doesn't have that in it. No,
I think it's got, what is it, 3 titles or 4? 3 or 4?
I think it's got 4.
Yeah,
got
at least I can see mine right here. There's 4.
It has everything through Evil Escapes, right? Because those were all the same producers. And then everything after that, when people realized you couldn't actually copyright Amityville.
I know. Just like I saw Amityville Moon at Walmart, and I'm like, oh, good, Amityville with werewolves.
Yeah.
There's also
you get Conjuring films with them too. So what the fuck difference does it make?
There's also like Amityville Shark.
Yeah.
So there's just the Amityville thing's just gone off the rails at this point.
Amityville Cult is the newest gem that I saw at Walmart the other day. There's a new Amityville movie every
weekly.
I guess you could just put Amityville on anything now.
It's a town in America. There's nothing they can do. Yeah. And it's further complicated by the fact that it was published as nonfiction. If it's a real event, anyone can do pretty much anything with it as long as they don't use the actual text. So that's a problem, you know?
Best Amityville cyborg movie ever made.
I want to see Amityville Ebola syndrome is what the one I want to see.
I want to see Anthony Wong in any American film, like just any, like Jurassic Park featuring Anthony Wong. It's instantly a better film.
I'd love to see him just start making American films right now. Just
well, he was in the third Mummy movie.
Yeah, he was, but I mean, just like headlining stuff, just have a big career.
So how did they not, like, when they were making the Expendables movie, just cast him as the villain?
Oh, it would have been great.
How did that not happen? If you haven't seen Ebola Syndrome or Untold Story or Taxi Hunter, Anthony Wong is this extreme actor. Now, he's a great actor. That's what's so screwy about it, is he's actually like as good an actor as you can come across. But he takes these, he at that point in his career anyway, he took these incredibly disgusting, vile roles and just completely doubled down and owns them. And it's just, you're watching a master actor do the equivalent of an H.G. Wells, or H.G. Lewis film on crack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, Ebola Syndrome is one of the things, if you try and give a synopsis of the film, people will not believe you that it exists.
Yeah. I've been recommended Untold Story by, since I've been talking so much about Ebola syndrome lately, I've been recommended Untold Story by several people. So.
It's a much more serious take on it. On kind of like the vile Cat 3 Hong Kong cinema, but you will enjoy it a lot. The second movie, Untold Story 2, is not quite as fun. If you can find Taxi Hunter, I really recommend it. It's basically, if you wanted to see Taxi Driver as a like a vigilante slasher film with rape,
good.
like with a lot of rape, that's your film. But I really recommend it if you're a fan of Cat 3. There's a Secret in My Soup is the flick to find. And Jay and I did a commentary that's available on the Patreon of Centipede Horror, which you can't go wrong with either.
Cat 3 seems to be interesting now to people, because I know a lot that picked up Ebola syndrome because I pimped that so hard to my friends.
It's so great.
And now they're just like, I need everything. I know Dr. Lamb, I believe, is coming sometime this year. Not a top tier.
No.
Did you say Dr. Lamb?
Yeah.
Not Lamb, Dr. Lamb.
Dr. Lamb. Yes, not the not
what
that
the
Lamb.
fuck is a Dr. Lamb?
It's a doctor who has some social problems. And his last name is Lamb.
It's like that got my attention. My mom had a college professor named Dr. Lamb, and his first name was Robert, so I would always call him Dr. Bob Lamb because we were like 7 or 8 years old.
And Sam just won the episode. The rest of us get the home version.
I know. Yeah.
You're lucky it wasn't that Dr. Lamb. He might not have taken kindly to it, but
no.
I'm just I hope that Dr. Lamb, that movie Dr. Lamb's first name is not Robert. Otherwise, I'm gonna have a problem.
There's also a great film called The Eternal Evil of Asia. That, again, you have to dig a little deeper to find, but that's a crazy damn movie about black magic and curses, and a guy becomes a giant penis at one point, and it ends with Invisible Man rape, and it's very, very weird film, but you'll enjoy it.
Wow. I'm seeing a
Yes.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah, I am. Okay. Yeah. There's a trend going on here with these flicks. Very, very disturbing trend.
I think I'd be on board with the idea of a guy turning into a penis if it was kind of like, the slow transformation a la, Werewolf in London. Just, having it like his head stretch out and get taller and slowly move out. But, that's body horror,
I
literally.
I was already on board. You don't have to keep selling it.
The head splits down the middle.
Is it painful, or would it be a pleasurable experience?
Only if it's aroused. I mean, then yeah.
But I mean, because what's his name played the transformation in American Werewolf as being very painful, like it hurts. If you transformed into a penis.
But circumcised or uncircumcised is the issue, because who's putting the curse on him?
But I mean, if it's he could smother to death if it's.
Nope, that's the winner right there.
The arms have to fall off. It'd be pretty painful.
Yeah, I guess it would. Yeah.
I mean, you just need one of those really epic transformation sequences.
Especially if you're uncircumcised and you've got no arms to like roll it down. You know what I mean? You're in trouble. You're in trouble.
You're just gonna look like that one character from the Fat Albert show with the that it took me forever to realize that was supposed to be a sweater and scarf.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot about
completely
him.
Baffled.
I forgot about him. Yeah,
that was the most wholesome Bill Cosby reference you could possibly do.
And of course, we're talking about all these extreme Asian movies, and it comes full circle with the Bill Cosby reference.
Right.
Of course.
Jesus. Okay.
But you did say Invisible Man rape, and there was Ghost Dad, so.
Okay. Ebola Syndrome 2, starring Bill Cosby. Are we on board?
Ooh.
That could be a career. That could create a career resurgence for him.
There's no Ebola syndrome without the great Anthony Wong. I'm sorry.
Right now, I'm just picturing a call to Rick Baker. It's like, all right, Rick, I got one for you. 2 words: penis monster.
Coming out of retirement.
Yeah. Rick would go. I've been waiting for this moment for years.
He'd sound like Phil Collins.
Rick, we need you for the Shaft's formation.
he would just open a laptop and go to a folder that just says penis, and it'd just be all these. He's been working on it for years. He's got all these different designs. He's like,
oddly, he turns to his wife and says, "Really, it's research. I promise."
The giant penis transformation is his magnum opus.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll be here for another half an hour.
Lord have mercy.
I expect everybody in the chat to Google giant penis transformation and see what you get.
I'll do it right now.
Eternal Evil of Asia, guys. You don't have to Google anything. Just find the movie.
Make sure you go to a incognito browser.
It just means you're going to get emails suggesting you buy stuff for the next 2 months.
My browser thinks I'm a robot. It's making me do one of those tests.
Find the bridges.
There are no fire hydrants.
Wait, do I include all of this road sign or just like the top?
Yeah, I love it when the photos are like, just three horrible pixels. Like I can't tell what's in that. Well, if there's a road or if there's a bridge, it's just
What I love is the captions that say all you have to do is click the box that says "I am not a robot." I'm thinking that if programmers can't figure out how to have that program click that box, we're underestimating their power.
Very much.
I think I found one that's a cat. I don't understand.
Click all the cats.
Absolutely not. I will not click on any of these links. I will just sit here in the Google Images tab.
We're just gonna have a big blue chew ad.
What is walking on its hands?
Lauren, I know you've got something you got a topic you want to discuss. Go ahead and the floor is yours.
I don't have a topic. I have many rambling ideas.
Okay,
so,
ramble on.
In an uncharacteristic move, I did see the Spider-Man film, and it's fine. If you like superhero films, you're gonna have fun with the Spider-Man film. But what I find a little bit disturbing, and it's kind of part of our reoccurring conversation, is that when people get aroused to the point where they're screaming in the movie theater because an actor that was in that other movie they kind of liked is now wearing the same suit he wore 10 or 20 years ago, I think we got a problem, right? So it's fine. It's certainly no better than the best of them, and it's no worse. It's far from the worst of all the superhero movies. But here's the thing: like, I'm getting to the point where, besides nostalgia, what is the selling point of another Spider-Man film? How many Spider-Man films are there at this point? I lost count, right? I mean,
it's got to be probably like almost 9 or 10, I think.
Right. So it's like at this point, the snake is not just eating its tail; it's right up to its ears, right? There's barely snake left. It's just a ring you could wear on a finger, and I'm getting to the point where I'm wondering, like, how is this the movie event of the year? And it is, because it's the top grossing film of the year, and it only had a few weeks in the year to do it, right? So how is this the top grossing film of the year? And what it was plying on is people saying, hey, I used to love those movies. That's the problem. Now, there's some great things in the movie, some great moments in the movie that pay off well in a kind of cheap television sort of way. But can we stop pretending we're invested in this new stuff that's just regurgitating the same quote unquote new stuff that was new 20 years ago? I'm mind blown that culturally we're okay and supportive of being in this like vacuum tube. Whereas every once in a while they say, oh, the cool thing about this one is we'll throw that reference in or this character in. There was a trailer literally as an after credit sequence in the film for the next movie. They're not even pretending anymore that it's anything more than assembly line product. And this goes across multiple studios now. I hear that there's another studio that's going to be added to the mix that owns a character and now is going to get solo films that are part of the Marvel Universe in a different studio now. Soon there won't be movie studios. It'll just be Disney Marvel. That'll be the thing. So I as much as I think it was an okay film and I did enjoy it, I'm disturbed by what it represents a lot. And at the same time, I literally came home from the movie theater, logged online, and as unfortunately you guys that have to deal with me know, I once a week I go check out how the business of physical media is doing. And the early numbers for 2021, and it won't be settled till about February, but is that we lost 25% of the market again at a minimum last year. The second year in a row, we've been in double digits for over 10 years of decline. So where does that put us? We're going to theaters to see things that make us remember the movies we used to like. We're not buying any of the new stuff, which is where presumably the bulk of the sales would come from. This is a death spiral. This is what slow cancer feels like. I went to Redbox today, and there's a Redbox near me that sells used movies. And so I picked up, what is this? Cop Shop. This is that Escape Room 2 and Malignant. Cost me $10 for the 3 movies on Blu-ray. Go ahead, someone say it, but you don't get art. I don't care. My problem has become that as someone who wants to support the medium, these titles full price on Amazon, because I checked right before the show, I couldn't bring it below $55 to get all 3 movies, no matter what I did with any promo, with even buying used copies. That's a problem. Rad Report let us know that we have Hitcher coming from Second Sight. Unfortunately, the early news on that is it's going to be a $50 disc.
If not more, I think, because you got to look at The Guest was what, like almost $60 to $70. I mean, you don't think that Second Sight's going to put Hitcher at that same price point? I mean, it's going to be a bigger seller than The Guest was.
Oh, certainly. And that prices me out of that market. I cannot justify spending that kind of money on a movie, especially not a movie I already own on a format that's watchable. Mm. So I don't know how when they're assaulting those of us who want to keep it alive with prices. The mainstream doesn't want to buy new movies. Mm-hmm. And the new movies are regurgitating shit that we've already consumed. Again, how do we break out of this? Now, rather than this just be me bitching, I will tell you that some good news on the horizon is that Boom Studios, which is, of course, a comic book company, they had signed a distribution deal with 20th Century Fox many years ago, and it was starting to come to fruition. Only one film got made in that deal before Disney took over 20th Century Fox. That film was The Empty Man. And Disney is no longer part of the equation, and Boom, the rights to Boom has been licensed out to Netflix. So we are seeing things like Something is Killing the Children coming as a Netflix show. And it's rewarding to see a new property, even if it did start in another medium, get a chance on albeit the small screen. And there's rumblings, I guess best viewed as rumors at this point, that Netflix are perhaps actively looking into an additional chapter in the Empty Man story. The most courageous theatrical release from a major distributor in years. The Empty Man, I won't say it's not my favorite film in the last few years, but it's damn close, and it was definitely the most ambitious for a commercial horror film. If Netflix can give us a winner there, can feed that beast, maybe we can turn it around domestically with our own pocketbooks and our interest. But I'm hoping we can, because we need a lot more Empty Mans out there. And no matter if you liked, or had a great experience, a lot less, hey, look, it's Andrew Garfield again.
So what are some, I feel like a lot of this is disposable ideas lead to disposable movies. So what are some themes like that all of you guys would like to see to make movies less disposable and less throwaway, to the point where it's like they stick with us and they can birth new things? Because we would need more than just one Empty Man. And I love the Empty Man. So what do y'all think?
I think we have 70 years worth of horror literature that could be mined pretty easily. Where's Robert McCammon's Swan Song, which would be in the easiest sale to America at this moment of any adaptation ever? And I'm not even a McCammon fan.
Get a hardcover for that. It's going to be like $500. People would salivate over Swan Song. There's just so much that classics that have never been touched. Stuff from 100 years ago, 150 years ago. I mean, that just has not been mined at all. I keep hoping. Again, I hate to root for anything to fail. It's great that Spider-Man did well for theaters in general. And it also kind of blew away the narrative of, it's good for these times. People will still go. But I've seen some hope. Like I mentioned Titane. I am amazed the amount of people that I've recommended that to, because it's not a mainstream film. It's different. And I don't think I've gotten anybody to watch it that didn't love that movie. It's a wild one, but I think maybe people will branch out. At some point, you got to get sick of the superhero crap. No offense to any Marvel fans, but I just feel like I'm seeing the same movie. I have zero interest in some guy putting on tights and going to save the world. It's not compelling to me anymore. That Boom news is very interesting because there's a lot of properties there that I think could catch on huge. So yeah, just think outside the box, I guess. I do think people will appreciate something different. It just, I don't know what it is, that I don't know that magic formula to get a movie like Titane.
It's availability.
Yeah,
because the average, I hate to make this. I mean, the average moviegoer, if it's not on Netflix, it's not on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist. They're
Right.
not going to dig for it. There's a lot of movies that I really want to see that I'm not going to dig for, because I've got other movies to watch. I'll just watch them, and whenever that one comes around, I'll see it. But I mean, like with Titane, I mean, where is it? Where do you find it? Where do you if I tell somebody about Titane, the response is going to be, is it on Netflix? Oh no.
Yeah.
Is it on Prime? No. Is it on Hulu? No. Is it on Blu-ray? No. Well, how'd you see it? Yeah, that'll be, well,
Yeah.
But so availability has a big part of it too, and Shudder. I would just recommend Shudder to everybody, because Shudder's got so much good stuff on it, unique and different stuff. Caveat, for instance.
yeah.
There's no other movie like Caveat out there. You just have to hear somebody talk about it, have it be recommended to you, and then if you're a Shudder subscriber, there it is. But I think availability has a lot to do with it, and advertising too. How do you know some of these movies exist?
But I hate to say this, but I think it's us. We have to start making real big noise about films. And I'm not saying just the 6 boxes here. Every box that exists on YouTube or another platform, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Like when we find something that we really love, we got to scream to the mountains and try and start something. Because remember, there was a time when independent horror was not getting into mainstream theaters. And then Halloween happened. And we had a huge wave of independent horror getting into every multiplex and every mom and pop theater in the country. And that only died once the Spielbergian dream of E.T. every 3 months came true.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to start a groundswell every time something worthwhile comes out. And that doesn't mean we have to trust each other and rush to embrace, because the window on this stuff is really thin. Titan, I still have not seen, because my life has been like horrific over the last retail holiday. But the truth is, like, the window on that movie creating the kind of groundswell that to be the next Halloween is what, maybe a month and a half. And if it doesn't do it in that time, everyone will move on to the next, the next Bird Box.
Oh, don't.
Well,
Don't
what I'm saying about Bird Box is simply that it was just something that came out that everyone talked nonstop for a month about, but now people barely remember exists outside the Mallerman novel it's based on.
You're right. No, 100%. I mean, could be that just the movie was really weak compared to the book.
But I think we need to take this very serious, and that does mean the other side of it is that we got to temper the constant 24/7 clickbait narrative of, oh, we got to cover the fuck out of Scream or Halloween Ends or Candyman returns 6 times, whatever it is. Those films we can let Entertainment Weekly handle the promotion on, and we need to take it back the same way punk rock took rock and roll back when those big 70s arena rock bands became bands that you could listen to with your parents. We got to do this. We're at that moment in horror where either we as the fans on the street level take it back, or we got to stop bitching and just kind of move on with our lives, I think.
So we could also like make flyers that say like, go watch Titan, and like stick them up in random places, and people will be like, what the fuck is this? Actually kind of.
No, I think you're right on.
I'm just saying, I think example.
No, I think Lauren's right on with it. It's like this is, like I said earlier, like I don't watch a lot of current stuff. Not that I don't want to, but I mean I buy enough shit that I've already got stuff piled up from orders that I got in months and months ago. So it's like I've already got enough stuff that I'm trying to catch up on, and a lot of the new stuff just passes me by. I don't watch a lot of trailers. I don't like comic book movies, so none of that to me is. I don't go see any of that stuff. So a lot of the mainstream stuff I kind of stay away from, except for maybe like the select few that come out every year that I go check out. But you guys are the ones like that I follow on YouTube and check out that, will recommend. If I hear the same movie recommended a bunch of times, I'll throw it in my Amazon cart and give it a watch. Another thing too is I'm deep into this stuff and I don't even have Shudder. It's like I have a 2-year-old. We've got freaking Disney. We got this. I got enough shit in my collection where it's like, I don't need Shudder as another expense and then get, stuck on that. And I've got all this other stuff to watch. So I miss a lot of this stuff that is on there. So I think you're right. Like we've got to be that ground to create the hype. It's like anything else. I mean, you look at collectibles nowadays. I'm big into collectibles. I mean, who would ever thought baseball cards would be an investment again? Not me. But the only reason that stuff is because the people underneath it are hyping this thing up. And the more people that start hyping things up, the more people want to get involved. And, Vinegar Syndrome does a great job at that, and making you be like, maybe I do want that title I've never heard of, So I think we really have to be that ground up, the more people talk about certain things, we all should start, kind of champion the same thing. And I think that's going to get these movies out there to the masses, I think.
Now, how do we make the mainstream horror outlets understand this? Because you'll see some will cover some of these movies, but for the most part,
like I think, in my opinion, remakes and stuff like that is always going to be there. But in my opinion, like that needs to stop. Like I think Spider-Man, when I was a kid, I only dreamt of seeing Spider-Man in a theater. It didn't exist, all through those years. You're like, wow, imagine a Spider-Man movie. Same way I was like, imagine a Ninja Turtles movie, right? Like, and it came and you were like, wow, this is so special. But we're 10 deep now, or 8 or 9 deep, and you get Spider-Man and all the Avengers movies as well. It's like that kind of stuff. There's nothing special anymore. Like there's not enough time in between for a lot of the stuff. Like I'll tell you right now, I'd be excited for Friday the 13th movie to come out, but it's been a while, right? So it's been a while for them to kind of try that again. But you know, I didn't need a Candyman, and I didn't care for the Candyman at all. And I know a lot of people did, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, but I do like a lot of original stuff, like Midsummer. I love that. Hereditary. I love that. I'll even go out and say I liked Us, and I know a lot of people didn't like it. It was different. It was something that I could see in a theater that was different. And there's just so much out there that I feel like, why are we going after the same well over and over again, just because it's of name value? And I think that there's probably more out there. I mean, you take anything. As a kid, what did I like? R.L. Stein books? Good. Grab a bunch of those and let's start making movies out of them. I mean, I don't know. Like, there's stuff out there that people can do that's somewhat original, I think. But for the same thing, we're going after the same properties again. And it's not working most of the time.
There's hope out there, and there's a lot. I will say, like Horror Booktube, they're very good at highlighting small press authors. You know, I'd love to see Christopher Triana's gone to see the Riverman adapted. That would be fantastic. There's just so much. I could name 100 things just from the past 5 years that would be huge for the horror genre if they tackled. So, yeah, and once in a while, like Hereditary, I think has a pretty strong audience. People still talk about that one. A24, I think, are heroes for the horror genre. I mean, they don't always hit a home run, but it's always usually at least solid and different. Which is what I appreciate. I'll praise anything for being different. If it's
we've got you know, directors like Robert Eggers that's doing really unique and different stuff, that's getting theatrical releases, and a lot of people you know, he gets a lot of attention for his stuff now. His new movie looks really good.
The Northman,
The Northman, that looks really good. So Daily Ghost, thank you for the $5 super chat, sir. Vincent replicates the old movie-going experience where the poster and maybe a trailer is all the marketing you got. That's what I love about VS. Well, and you know, thank you for that, Daily Ghost. Appreciate it. But Vinegar Syndrome's really good about, like Garrett said, they've become like the new Anchor Bay. Whereas we kind of, you know, if it's a Vinegar Syndrome title, you kind of want to buy it just because it's a Vinegar Syndrome title, even though it may not be good. But yeah, they've done a really good job, and almost effortlessly, to make themselves very sought after, to make their brand very, very sought after, to the point where out of print Vinegar Syndrome releases with the slipcase go for big bucks.
I think you're going to see in 2022 a lot of these boutique labels going a little bit in that route, where if you look at Vinegar Syndrome, like, I don't know how much they're spending on a lot of these titles, but to get the rights is probably not much, but they're putting a lot into them where, you know, for example, I kind of champion this, and I don't know how you guys feel about it, but the addition of Phantom of the Mall that Arrow did was it didn't make any sense, but I look at that and I'm like, man, now that thing is going for like $150 on eBay right now, and you look and you're like, is this the route? Are they going to kind of go Vinegar Syndrome-esque, where it's like, hey, let's take these movies that aren't really too popular, but some people know them, and let's build these huge editions, you know, with all this stuff, and make this more like it's better than what the movie deserves. And I wonder if that's the route you're going to start seeing, like, some of these companies going, where it's like, you know, how much could Phantom of the Mall probably cost Arrow? And probably not as much as getting American Werewolf in London, right? So why couldn't they do this with more titles that are just kind of hanging around, that they can pretty up and get people to kind of hype again with them, you know?
Well, Vinegar Syndrome has been very good, and their associate labels, about keeping pricing pretty on the lower side for boutique labels. Whereas other labels have been very bad about that. So I think that's a big part of it, though. Price tag is going to limit the number of people who enter the collector's market for films. And by the way, I don't want collectors of films. I want people who love films to buy films. I want people to open those damn movies and watch them and love them. And if they don't love them, pass them on to someone who will. To me, it's about the films. It's not about collecting as a, let's put this piece of plastic and cardboard and metal on a shelf and say I own it. But I do think that we're running out of time. Again, losing another 25% of the market, we're now going to be at about 10% of where the market was just 15 years ago. I mean, that kind of a fall is not sustainable. And if the mainstream's already gone, forget about it. People don't go to Walmart and buy this week's new release. It just doesn't happen anymore. That's why Walmart now basically have an end cap in the new store design for the new year. But those of us who are the diehards, please, I beg you, boutique labels, keep pricing to the point where we can justify buying this, because we're all going to the grocery stores and seeing ridiculously high prices on the basics. If we're going to justify this hobby of ours, you got to meet us halfway.
You're right.
You got to.
I was going to say the price of everything is going on.
Yeah.
So
It's hard when people ask me to recommend, or if I'd recommend a movie, and I'm like, well, it's $50. That makes it harder for me to say. I mean, yes, I liked it, but is it worth $50 to you? I don't know. For a single movie. But then again, I'm the guy that just paid $200 for the full car box set. So I'll keep it alive as long as I can.
Yeah, I always say get either if you can watch it free or cheap, do that, and if you really like it, then buy it. So.
Yep.
Yes. And pay attention to some of these brand new movies like Censor that the sub labels are putting out for on Vinegar Syndrome. Summer of '84, that's also really good. It's weird that there are a lot that just don't get to hear about these movies. Summer of '84 was very well received when that came out, but then it's just gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even hear anything about that possible sequel. I don't know if anything's going on with that. So yeah, it's just talking about it and really going out of your way to champion that. And there are some YouTube channels that I think are really good about that. So yeah.
Ben Grimm mentions Ticks 4K for $60. I love Ticks. I just don't know if I can drop $60 on a 4K. I love Ticks.
I mean, that's the same thing.
The bill for me.
It's like 6-string Samurai 4K is like $60. Like, come on.
The Hitcher 4K, if they give it the same kind of presentation and stuff as they did, like The Guest, for instance, I'll drop $50 on it and feel fine about it. So, anybody else? Anything pressing on your mind or on your heart that you just need to get out?
It's cold as hell in this office right now. That's the only thing pressing on me.
Put your fur back on.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Or get the bucket of red paint to throw on you.
All right, so I keep hearing people talking about Titane. I haven't seen it, so you cannot get that in a physical format currently, correct?
It's coming to Blu-ray.
Okay.
It's coming soon,
yeah. I think this month, I believe.
Guys, that's not one that's going to win the hearts of the mainstream. I can tell you that right now.
No, Titane will not.
Very, very weird movie. I love it,
but there's a lot more going on than, I don't know. I was surprised at the amount of people that liked it. Might surprise you guys. It will be different. You have not another Titane.
Yes, yes.
It's one of a kind.
Yes.
Yeah. From how it starts to how it finishes is quite a journey.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Quite an interesting
I should have gotten the floor length for my Oh well. First world problems.
My fur is not long enough.
I know.
we're talking about $50 Blu-rays. Come on.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
Why can't it be $45? A little bit lower.
The
My
fur
fur's
coat.
not long enough. This Blu-ray's $50. You know what I mean?
You don't understand how bougie I am. We had pheasant over Christmas because my father-in-law shot some. I made pasta salad with pheasant.
Look at that. Oh, living it.
I know.
Damn. Balling.
Right?
Balling right there. Damn.
That sounds good.
I love being the elite.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. So, pasta salad. Do you put the little pepperonis in your pasta salad?
No, but I'm going to now.
Okay, you should. If you don't put the little pepperonis in your pasta salad, do it. No matter how you prepare your pasta salad, it's always better with the little pepperonis in it.
I just looked up. Tatane is coming out on the 18th, and it's only $14.99 on Amazon.
Yeah, see,
that's a good price.
Yeah,
that's a lot easier than 50 or 60 to take a risk on it. So
right, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Maud was a cheap Blu-ray too. I think that
I was going to ask about that one too. That's another one I've been eyeing, but I haven't watched it. But I've been hearing mixed things on it.
It's very good.
My favorite film of the year.
Okay,
it's very good. All right, well, why don't we go ahead and wrap things up here? We've been going for just over 2 hours. It's been, I think tonight's show, we've been talking about Tatane a lot. I think tonight's show is oddly Tatane-ish. We've covered a lot of different things. The show started in a way, it went someplace, then it went someplace. Anyway, it's been one of those.
What a way to start the year.
Yeah, choice flips.
We're like one of those, you know, we're like one of those thrash metal songs. It's got, 10 different time signatures in it. So, but anywho,
$12.99.
St. March 189. Jay the Stingray, where can we find you on the social medias?
I'm Jay the Stingray pretty much everywhere. You can check out my YouTube channel. Hopefully I've got some stuff in the can to come out sometime soon.
Cool. Garrett, where can we find you?
You can find me at Born to Be Rad on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. I will be doing a lot of Cobra Kai Karate Kid stuff all month, and I'll be kind of dipping into some Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff as we lead into the new movie. So I'll be doing some of that as well. So if you guys are interested in any of those two topics, follow along. I might do a live stream tomorrow talking all things spoilers, Cobra Kai Season 4.
Oh, cool. I'm only 4 episodes into the new season, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Bless you.
Bless you.
Whoever that was. Also, shout out to Jess Graham. Shout out. Dan, where can we find you, my friend?
You can find me on Flesh Wound Features here on YouTube. Somebody asked about Fleshlight coupons. I don't think we can put those links on YouTube, but you can get them through, I believe, fleshwoundfeatures.com. Or you can get them soon through that. So, yeah, we've got our best of 2021 show coming up this month. We're also going to be covering wintry slasher trilogy called Cold Prey that doesn't get talked about a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think we're doing that next week, and then the best of show is coming after that. So, yeah.
Cool. Lauren, where can we find you?
Twitter at Lauren Dixon, or of course on the Visited by Voices 1 channel on the YouTube. We do have Brian Asmund as a guest on the 23rd coming in. He's the author of a book that was recently released that's getting a ton of just unbelievable support for the Horror Small Press. It's a haunted house novel with a satirical edge. It is titled Man, Fuck This House.
I'm so excited to read it. I just got it.
Nice.
I'm about halfway through it. It's amazing.
Yes.
Cool. Sam, where can we find you?
I'm just Sheedy_GBs at most places. I'm most active on Twitter. Nothing new on the Sheeby-GBs channel because my life is a trash fire, but I'm usually just over here and hanging with this dude next to me. If I can straighten my finger. There we go. That's how those things work. Fusion. Okay.
All right, cool. All right, let's do some more shout outs here. Shout out to the Daily Ghost for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated, sir. Let's see who's still with us. We've got Punisher Batman fan, Jess, Cable Channel 11, Ben Grimm, Roland 666, Holiday Styles, Captain Halloween. You mean to tell me you don't have like a flesh wound promo code for the fleshlights, Dan?
I should have had it ready tonight, but I believe fleshwoundfeatures.com I think might have it, or it'll have it soon.
Okay. Future Boy, Ross Jordan, Dr. CZ Deaths, Mr. Sam. I'm surprised there was, I think Orc was in the chat earlier, but we must have bored him with all. We were talking about bad things, and he was like, I'm out of here. This is just too much for me.
He's a classy gent.
He's a classy gent. That's true. Jonathan, Bombastic Reviews was here. Chester 22. Paul, Joe Reese. And DJ Donnelly. All right. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. It was fun. Happy New Year to all. And it's all a good night. And thank you to all you guys for joining me. Always a pleasure. And yeah, so we'll see you all again in the very near future. Until then, take care and peace.
Watch or be punished.
I was a mild-mannered chemist.
Okay.